Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my YouTube channel, Anton GF. My name is Anton Garcia Fernandez and I'm coming to you over YouTube from the city of Jackson in the state of Tennessee here in the United States of America on a beautiful sunny winter afternoon. And I would like today to talk about a recent book which was published in 2018 that my daughter selected at her school's book fair really recently as well. It was published by Scholastic and it was awarded a Caldecott honor, as we can see on the cover of the book, which I have right here, Alma and How She Got Her Name. You see the Caldecott Medal honor right there on that side of the cover, right next to Alma, who is the protagonist of this book, written by Juana Martinez-Neal. And this is also a book that I recently reviewed on my quarterly column for the online journal of the Jordi Sierra y Fabra Foundation out of Barcelona, Spain, La Página Escrita, or the written page. And I would like to tell you a little bit about it on this video. The author and illustrator of this book is Juana Martinez-Neal, who was born in Lima, in Peru, but she lives currently in the city of Scottsdale in Arizona with her husband, her kids, her dogs, as she says also in her website, the soul of her cat, which is no longer with them. When you open the book, you can see the name of the protagonist, Alma, and How She Got Her Name is the title of the book, and then you go to the very end of the book and you find, after you read the story, you find a note from Juana, which explains the origins of this book. Apparently, her whole name is Juana Carlota Martinez Pizarro, and the reason why she got the name Juana Carlota had to do with her mother on the one hand, and also with her uncle, whose name was Carlos, but since she was a woman, she got the name Carla originally. But then her father decided to change the name to Carlota. And the author says here in this final note, thanks to that change, I got stuck with what I thought was the most old-fashioned, harsh, ugly, and way too Spanish name in all of Lima, Peru, where I grew up. Little did I know that later on, after I moved to the United States, it would feel unique and remind me every day of where I come from. So, as you can see already, there is a clear autobiographical element to this book, to Alma and How She Got Her Name. Alma, the protagonist, doesn't like her name because she thinks it's too long. And I think you will agree that she is quite right about that, because her name is Alma Sofia Esperanza Jose Pura Candela. That's her whole name. It's not just Alma, but also all those other names that are tagged along Alma. Of course, she doesn't like the name until her father explains the origins and the meaning of that name. And throughout the conversation with her father, which occupies most of the book, Alma learns several things. For example, she learns that her name is a mixture of the names of members of her family, some of whom she actually has not met. People that preceded her in the family, like her grandmother, or grandfather, or great-grandmother, great-aunt. She also learns the reasons why her long name was chosen, and if it was chosen, and if they decided to give her such a long name, it's because this name meant something very clearly and very importantly to her parents. But most of all, she discovers that she shares certain character features, parts of her personality, that she shares with her ancestors. And little by little, when she realizes this, inevitably she begins to like her name. And in fact, our names, of course, say a lot about us sometimes, but they are something that in a way defines us, but doesn't really depend on us, because Well, it's our parents that give us that name, whatever name we have, right? But in this case, in the case of Alma, the name was not chosen willy-nilly. It has a set of important meanings to her parents. It is a sort of tribute to the people that preceded Alma within her family and who exerted different types of influences on her father. By telling her these stories, her father ensures that they will also have an impact on Alma herself. And this is really very important. It's something that Juana Martinez-Neal is pointing out time and time again throughout this fairly, so you can see, fairly thin book that I have in my hand, Alma and How She Got Her Name. Just as it happened to the author herself, to Juana Martinez-Neal, Alma's name is designed so that she'll always remembers where she comes from. Alma then learns through her name, through learning the story of her name, about the ideas of family legacy, of continuity in time, of family heritage, among many others, all of which are, in a way, encapsulated in her mile-long name. There are reasons why her name is that long. And of course, when Alma learns these things and becomes aware of these things, so do the readers that are reading this book. This book is also interesting, not only because of the story, not only because of the way, simple, direct, clear, in which it is written, in which the story is told, but also because of the drawings. Look at just at that cover right there. Also, look at some of the drawings inside. That's Alma with her father. Here we have Alma's grandmother. Beautiful drawings. I love this one right here, where she realizes, I am Sophia. Well, there's many of them. They're beautiful. Look at the one on the back here. Her father reading her a story or showing some pictures to her. Beautiful drawing. Very expressive drawings as well. Very tender drawings as well. These are illustrations drawn also by the author herself. They punctuate the story, and they are inextricably linked to the story. You cannot separate the text from the drawings. And in some cases, the fact that Alma and her family are Hispanic is also punctuated by the drawings, where you can see that, maybe you can't tell, but some words are written in Spanish right there. Caballo for horse, for example. Conejo for rabbit, and so on. Beautiful book, beautiful drawings, and a really interesting story. And the book also ends on an encouragement to Alma, and also to the readers, of course, to find her own voice in life, to write her own story, as one of the drawings at the end states, mi historia in Spanish, my story. She now has a name, and she has to start developing her own personality. And that's something that she will be able to do herself, but never forgetting the legacy of her family, never forgetting the past that has in some way made an impact on her father, on her mother, and ultimately on herself. This is really a fantastic book that I would like to encourage anyone with young kids, just like I have a young daughter, to read, to seek out, because it's a really, really interesting book. Alma probably has, from the looks of the drawings, an age of about 5 or 6 years old. And this book is really a book that I would recommend to anyone with small kids, or maybe even more grown-up kids, because there's a lot to be learned from this book, and something, I think, to be learned in the times that we're living in. I think a book like this by Juana Martinez-Neal, Alma and How She Got Her Name, is a very, very valuable book. And for that reason, I wanted to talk about it briefly today on my YouTube channel. Alma and How She Got Her Name, published by Scholastic back in the year of 2018, and it won Caldecott honor, and very deservedly so, in my opinion. By the way, if you read in Spanish, the book is also available in Spanish. This brings us to the end of the video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you seek out this book because it really is well worth it. My name is Anton Garcia Fernandez. Mine is the copyright of this video, which was recorded in Jackson, in the state of Tennessee, in the United States of America, in March of 2020, without any type of cuts. And the copyright, of course, for the video, as always, is mine. You can find this video on my YouTube channel, Anton GF. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for watching, and so long, everybody.